Hey guys, John Faulkner here with Chris Weatherman, and today we're attacking our sweet tooth.
Yes, yes, we all have one.
We do.
And we always like to say that carbohydrates are the hardest thing in nature to come by.
Yeah.
That cannot be any more powerful statement than when it comes to talking about sweet stuff.
Yeah.
And we all get a sweet tooth.
Yeah, some people have sweet teeth.
Some people have sweet teeth,
yeah. And I might be
well,
one
not
of
since
those.
I gave up the meth, but you know.
But yeah, I think sweets, desserts, things like that are really often overlooked in bug out bags.
Well, very much so, yeah.
And in our normal everyday preps. If we're talking, you know, hey, building a sustainable food bank for a year or so, we start talking about a lot of rice and beans and meat and veggies.
Everybody breaks it down into basically like carbs and proteins, you know. And veggies, I think, get overlooked a lot too, even. But this is probably the most overlooked thing.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some people out there that'll be like, not me,
Yeah.
and good for you. But the vast majority of folks, they totally skip over this.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that come with it. Like Chris said, you know, there's a lot of calories that's usually packed into to sweets that you're going to need. For me, it's a huge morale boost.
It is for anybody.
You know, and being like a through hiker, man, when you've had tough days, it's nice to sit down and enjoy something. And that's the biggest thing, I think, is if we're actually talking about a tough situation, it's good to be able to sit down and enjoy something and try to get away from that, even if it's for 2 minutes.
Well, too, yeah, and it's also, it gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know, I haven't through hiked, John has, but I'm sure that in the back of your mind, knowing that, man, when I get to camp tonight, I'm going to make dinner, and then I'm going to make some banana pudding, and I'm going to sit back and put my feet up. And that's,
and you get to enjoy yourself.
Like from the movie The Martian, we were talking about that meal. He had the one meal. And it was his motivation, you know. But yeah, this can be a huge motivating factor and a massive morale boost.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then you break it down to even like EDC bags. I keep one Snickers bar in my EDC bag every single day. A lot of days like today, have to skip lunch, have to run to a meeting, have to, you know, board a plane before I can get something to eat, and it's going to be a 4-hour flight. Dude, a Snickers bar.
I'll hold you over.
Oh man, I think they have the most realistic commercial. They'll make, like a Snickers bar will keep you from getting hangry.
Yeah, it will. They'll definitely keep you from getting hangry.
Plain and simple. You know, and it's one of those things where I think as far as prepackaged meals like these go, there's so many different varieties.
Yeah.
You're able to kind of mix it up and have, if you have kids.
Yeah. Not only is this a treat for kids, which can be used to motivate them to get things done or do something, like you said a minute ago before we started filming this, it's a real good way to keep them out of your hair for a few minutes.
Yeah. And, you know, and it's one of those things, too, where if we're talking about a survival situation, I think one of the things that you're going to lean towards is trying to make your family, your friends, and especially your kids try to feel as normal as possible, you know? And dessert is one of those things that can really help. And, you know, it's one of those things where I try to lean towards prepackaged stuff, you know, sweets, M&M's, Snickers bars. You know, when I'm hiking, I'll take like goo with me. It's a lot of energy, but it also gives me that chocolate that I look for in the middle of the day. M&M's are fantastic. They don't melt. They were actually made for war to send to troops because they didn't melt. But also packaged meals like this, you know, are awesome because they come in so many different things. I mean, we got like apple crisp, you know, so like a cobbler. We got banana pudding, Indian rice pudding, and there's a bunch of other ones out there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different desserts out there that you can get. And one thing too that people are going to overlook, and that granted this is a niche, but there's enough folks out there that have to deal with this. It's worth mentioning. Diabetics.
Yep.
Now, everybody thinks, oh, sweets and diabetics, that's no good. Well, in an emergency situation, you are far more likely to deal with a diabetic suffering a low glucose as opposed to a high. And low glucoses are far more dangerous than a high. So a high can be dealt with by giving yourself a shot of insulin. A low glucose, the only way to deal with it is add glucose to the system. And if you don't have anything, and if you're in an austere environment or a primitive situation, like we said a minute ago, the only real natural sugar that's out there that can be found and is really damn hard to get to is honey. So if you're a diabetic suffering from low glucose, are you going to start tearing apart a beehive at that moment?
Right.
No, because you're already in bad shape. So it's really critical to have simple sugars that, like this, the goo, you know, it's a simple sugar that will be taken on board real fast.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's extremely important. And I mention that because I have 2 type 1 diabetic daughters. It's something we think of and we plan for. But yeah, having something simple around, and it may not be you. You like you said, you could be hiking the trail and come across somebody laying there comatose and find out he's diabetic, suffering from low sugar. You know, so it may not help you, but it can help others too. But just the entire morale boost, the positive energy that something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, and there's times just sitting around the campfire. I mean, Chris and I usually have a drink if we're sitting around the fire, but it's also fun to just crack something out like this.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, I mean, cheese and crackers and sausage and stuff like that.
Summer sausages. That's all great.
Fun to pass around, but it's also like, bro, dive into a good bag of banana pudding.
Yeah.
I mean, that gets you going.
Yeah.
So,
you know, and you can get some of the most amazing combinations of stuff. Just look around a little bit. Like we have 3 different manufacturers, well, and more than 3, but in these bag meals, 3 different manufacturers represented here. You know, and even like one of my favorite breakfasts is the biscuits and gravy that I showed you at an outing we did. Phenomenal. You can get some crazy stuff you would never dream of. These companies are getting better and better at creating these things. Like I'm a huge banana pudding fan. I mean, you know, look at me. I like banana pudding. I'm also a huge rice pudding fan.
Yeah.
I didn't know either one of these existed until John brought them out today. I've gone with other kind of dessert stuff, but I'm really jacked at trying those. And we're going to do another video.
We're going to test these.
We're going to test these for you guys.
It's a hard life sometimes, but somebody's got to do it.
Someone has to do it, and then we're it.
So, but yeah, guys, don't overlook, you know, sweets and desserts in your guys' preps, in the pantry, in your bag, in your vehicle, in your everyday life, because it's something that can really help you in hard times. So if you guys got any other questions with regards to these products, we'll try to leave links below to purchase them. And if you guys got any questions with regards to taste or other brands, feel free to leave them in the comments. We'll be sure to answer them. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. And until next time, be safe.